Buongiorno, buongiorno. I don't know, I'm in my Italian mode today, but today we're talking about fertility and starseeds, and this comes from one of your requests. So this request was placed on a question box where I asked people to share about what they were feeling like they needed to be more in alignment with. So today I'm talking about fertility and starseeds. We are seeing on this planet that many women have been suffering from infertility issues, and there's a lot of questions about IVF. And even if you're male, it's important that you're here because you may be a potential father someday. So fertility is not just female, it's male and female. And today we're going to be talking about it from the energetic standpoint on many different levels, including consumption, including how your habits, how you spend your time. It involves many different things, and I'll also be sharing from the downloads I've received from the souls that want to come in onto this planet, what they are particularly looking for in this time. So there's very specific traits that they look for as well. So I do want to have a disclaimer before starting this live. I know that fertility can be a very sensitive topic to a lot of women, and I am sharing about this from the energetics. And my invitation is, if something I share triggers you in any way, it's an invitation for you to look within at your habits and the things you're doing and see it as an opportunity for transformation. I also want to share that I do support a lot of women in their journey, and many have gotten pregnant after working with me and spending time with me. And a lot of times it comes from us cleaning up the energetics of things. And the same goes for men who want to be fathers. It's like the moment certain aspects are changed regarding mindset, it really starts to shift things. So let's first talk about the actual children that are wanting to incarnate into the planet right now. So the kids that are wanting to incarnate are souls that have lived in other planets and other timelines, and they are here to help with the evolution of planet Earth. So Earth is like this really fun experiment right now. It is the place that people come in order to evolve and grow. So it's really fascinating to see how these souls that are coming onto the planet are looking for a very particular environment so that they can do the mission they came here to do. Because currently a lot of them are in other planets and they're in training. And they're in training to come to Earth and really live a life that is here to make a difference and an impact on Earth. That's why they're called starseeds. So have you ever heard of people calling themselves starseeds? Like, I'm of the indigo starseeds, right? So I've lived in different planets in different places, and then I come to Earth and I have a mission, and I'm still very grounded. Like, I'm not like woo-woo in the stars, you know? However, I have memories of this, and I'm very connected to other beings on other places and other planets. So it's like the level of evolved souls that are coming onto the planet, they're literally like, I want to even equate them to being like avatars. They come with a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. They come with the innovation and the tools of what is going to help to shift our planet. If at any time I'm talking you have a question, please feel free to put it in. So that being said, they want to come and incarnate with parents that are very progressive and open to them being able to do what they need to do. They don't want to go to the school systems that we all went to, where that was really like a suppression to their innovation and what they're here to do on the planet. They also want healthy environments, and I'll talk about what I mean by healthy environments. They need a specific kind of environment to flourish as well. They can't, and it's not to their benefit to incarnate into a place where there's going to be a lot of trauma and challenge, because then they're going to have to spend a lot of their adult life healing the challenges and the trauma that they went through as children. So the environment starseed children are looking to be born into needs to be a very particular way. And so parents that are progressive and that have done their spiritual work, that have healed their relationship with their parents, have healed their relationship and their limiting beliefs within themselves so that they can hold these very intelligent children. So for these type of children, they're not going to want to hear like, no, because I said so. Like they're so intelligent and evolved, like that's not going to work. So really doing your personal development is the way to prepare for children the most. Also, stressful environments is not something they want. So creating the most loving environment where the parents can be really present and devote time, attention, resources to them receiving whatever kind of education and skills that they need for what they're wanting to create. So nature-based school systems are definitely important, and so are incubators that allow them to flourish in their natural abilities. That's going to be really, really important and powerful too. Also, these children they come with so much knowledge. So they're not looking to be brainwashed by a system, like by a school of knowledge that already exists. They need to be in an environment like Krishnamurti called it, showing children where to look, but not what to see. So allowing for really creative environments is so important for starseeds. So that next brings me to how you can prepare in terms of, because fertility is really about energetics. It's not so, as long as a woman has her period and as long as a male produces sperm, basically like there's fertility if there's alignment. So that means the couple is compatible and in alignment. That means like there is real true love. There is real true connection. They are a good match together. There's healthy dynamics where both are equals in the relationship and there's a safety to speak truth and communicate to each other. This is so important because a lot of times people are scared to speak their truth and they're not their true selves in relationships. So if that's happening in your relationship, how could a starseed child come in, because they wouldn't be safe to be themselves if you can't even be yourself in your own relationship. So honesty, transparency, evolution, and growth as a value is so important. Like conscious communication, so important. So someone shares, I already have my 2 kiddos, Crystal and Alpha Seed, but I'm using this valuable information for my business. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here. I'm super happy that you're here and it's so important to spread this message. So yeah, great. Thank you. So where was I? So I was talking about alignment of parents, and the dynamic of the relationship is so important for starseeds to want to come in. And even if you are not wanting to have a child, this is important for you to listen, because when you are around children, the new generation of children, it's important that you are being the way that would support their evolution and growth. So allowing them to be expressive is so important. So for example, not telling them, stop crying. No, it's okay. Just saying like, tell me what's going on. How can I support you? So it's what I talked about. We don't want to suppress them. We want them to be able to express their truth and who they are. So emotional intelligence and allowing children to express themselves is so important. So it's important that you're creating a relationship where there's emotional intelligence, where both people can express themselves freely, and it's a safe environment to do that. So that's relationship dynamics. So you really want to make sure, I like to say, there's no yoni bricks. Like there's no like cobwebs, there's no things that you've brushed under the rug. Like this cannot happen in your conscious relationship. In order to bring in a starseed child, there needs to be full trust and love and even joy and sweetness. Like love and even having a very consistent sex life is so important too. And the reason I share this is because during the first 7 years of life, it is the sexual energy of the parents that feeds the energy body of the child. because the child is still developing. So it's the sexual energy between the parents that really is what supports the child in coming into their highest energy body. And so a lot of people don't realize that. So it needs to be like, there still needs to be that love and affection and chemistry between the parents in order to have the most fertile environment for the child. So that attraction, even that chemistry, like when you meet someone and you smell them and you're like, oh wow, like I love their scent. This is showing biologic compatibility. So if you don't like the scent of your partner, this is not a match to have a child with. We still have this animal instinct, and pheromones are really real, and pheromones are what tell us like, yes, mate with that person. Don't mate with that person. So you could really care for a person, or they can be a checklist on paper, but if that pheromone isn't there, it's actually not advised, and it's possible that you may have infertility issues because you're not a physical chemistry match. So I'm just going to explain the science behind that. So in terms of being a biological match, this is actually scientific, like medical studies, is so there was this study that was done with women and men where they all these men worked out and they had sweaty shirts, and then women had to come without seeing the men and smell the shirts, and they had to say like which one they liked the best. Then they did a DNA study on them, on the woman and the man, based on the woman's scent towards the partner. And what they find is that there is something called MHC classes, which is connected to our antibodies. So your antibodies are what help you fight disease. And they found the best match is when you have different antibodies. And so that means a variety and a difference of genetics. So you don't actually want to have the same genetics. Having a variety of genetics makes you more survival of the fittest. So this is just a way to back scientifically what I'm telling you in regards to the attraction and chemistry between the parents. So that's that. Next, we go into consumption. So what you consume in your body absolutely affects your fertility as a man or a woman. It is actually advised within the time, so if you know you're going to get pregnant, it's best to abstain from any kind of alcohol or substances. For men, definitely 180 days, because that's how often sperm is made. 180 days before you want to even conceive, right? And then for women, like we're born with all of the eggs we'll ever have. So whatever you consume in your lifetime is going to affect your eggs. So if you are using a lot of alcohol and substances like leisure drugs or psychedelics, this can absolutely affect your fertility. And the brain and the uterus are balancing organs in Chinese medicine. So if you do a lot of psychedelics and things that will affect your brain, and this can actually harm your uterus. And from a hormonal standpoint, anytime you do psychedelics or mind-altering substances, or even if you're on like antidepressant medications, this can also affect your hormone balance because your hormones are in your brain. But the thing is that Western medicine hormone tests aren't always accurate because you are constantly fluctuating your hormones throughout your life and throughout the month. So you can't really always tell if there's a hormone imbalance because we're constantly cycling throughout the month. So it's best just to practice healthy consumption and really choose substance-free and sobriety as much as possible to honor the womb and to honor having the highest level of fertility possible. Another thing connected to consumption is what you eat. So of course, there are stressors in the environment. Organic, as close to nature as possible, and absolutely do not drink tap water. Tap water has been shown time and time again to have birth control in it. So oftentimes women are like, oh, but I eat so healthy and I'm doing all the things and still it's hard. And it's like, well, if you're drinking the toxic tap water, then you're going to be consuming birth control, and then how are you going to get pregnant if you're consuming birth control? And most people don't realize that. And that brings me to birth control. So if you were on birth control for many years, there are these plaques that develop in the womb, and a lot of energy healers can see them. It's almost like this, literally like this layer that happens that goes into the uterus. And obviously it does affect your hormones. When you go on to birth control, it affects your, and pretty much everyone was on it at one point, right? But if you are on it now and you want to get pregnant in the future, get off of it as soon as possible, because it can take years and years to return to a normal hormone level after you've been on birth control for so long. I advise women not to go on birth control. If you are having painful periods, there's a reason, and it needs to be healed, not masked with birth control. If you're wanting to use birth control methods, there's also the power of intention. If you state before, like, this is not a place of conception, this is a place of pleasure and healing, the souls will listen. But it's more when you're unconscious and doing that, and also timing your cycles and knowing when you're ovulating is another powerful form of birth control. So there's many ways you can do birth control, and it doesn't have to be with the prescription kind, because this can be very toxic to the womb and very toxic to your hormone levels. So next, I want to share about belief systems. If you believe what society says of like, oh yeah, when you're over this age, you can't get pregnant or something like this, it's absolutely not true. If you are still getting your period, that means you can have children, period. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I know plenty of women who have been in their 40s, even late 40s. I recently have a client who, she was trying for years and years and years, and she was in a relationship, and guess what? Her partner didn't really want to. There was a part of him so he was blocking it, right? Like, your partner can block it. If anyone has a thought of, it's too much right now, I can't do it right now, I don't want to, I'm not sure, block. This can block it. So belief systems, both people have to really be on board. And she broke up with that partner and she got a new one, and she was pregnant pretty quickly. She did have a miscarriage, but she was also someone who was on prescription medications for some time. And then she weaned off the medications. She got pregnant again, and I think she's like 46, and she's she might have already given birth. And I think this live is inspiring me to reach out to her and see how she's going. So it happened. And then she missed a period. She thought she was probably like 47 or 48 at the time. She was like missing a period, or maybe even like was she in her 50s, or was she 50? I'm saying is like, she was of an age that people might say you don't get pregnant in that age. And she literally thought she was going to the doctor to find out about menopause, and they did a pregnancy test and she was pregnant. So she did the healing work on herself to really go and get to the other side of it. So healing, clearing energies from your fields. You might have energies trapped in your womb. And if you wear a lot of black underwear, that's one way you trap energies, like negative energies inside your womb space. If you have painful periods, you want to heal those before. Also making sure that you and your partner are stress-free and you're in a place ready and you're creating the environment to welcome in a partner. You want your belief systems to be basically the most self-actualized and evolved and in a healthy place, mind, body, spirit, how you manage your time, creating spaciousness. This is the energy that welcomes them in. They don't want any kind of stress, not even of the father's stress, because guess what? Like, even when you're in the womb, you're still picking up on the environment. So remember that. So even if there are times when I do sessions with clients and they go back to when they're in the womb, and there's literally a trauma that we need to heal that's in the womb. So everything is energy, and energy is taking care of yourself, healing yourself, optimizing your thoughts, aligning your thoughts with your beliefs, with your actions, like being in alignment, being healthy, living a healthy, conscious life, consuming the highest quality things, not having vices or bad habits or addictions in any way. Purify, purify, purify. This is going to raise your frequency, and then one of these star seeds is going to see you and see your partnership and be like, oh yeah, I want that. So it's important to look at if you're not getting pregnant, not that it's infertility, but just that something's not in alignment. And that's it. It's okay. It's not like, don't even make it into a big deal, because if you think it's a big deal, then it will become a big deal. Your thoughts are creating everything. Your thoughts are guiding your entire life. So I have shared so much, and I'm going to open up this space for questions if there's any. If you're catching the replay, I really invite you to see if there's anything that I've shared that has affected you in some way that you're like, oh, this is interesting. And either way, if you are not wanting to have a starseed child, they're coming onto the planet, so you're going to be around them. So may you be a guide and a light for these starseed children. And to do that, it's like being in your highest vibration, your energy being its most bright and shining and radiant. It's you really being a way shower, and like I said, creating those environments where you're not telling them, because the truth is you want to be listening to them. Like, they are so wise beyond belief. Like, they're coming onto the planet where their embodiment is like already evolved. Like, they are so evolved just from being born because of the training they're receiving in the places that they're incarnating from. So the truth is we have nothing to teach them. We need to just create the environments for them to flourish and evolve and do the work they came here to do, which is to help heal our planet and bring it into the new paradigm, the new era where we're going to be seeing a lot of changes and that regeneration of the earth. So whether you are an ant or you become a friend of one, or however you come across a starseed's path, it's really, may you be in your best self. So continue to do your healing work, your personal development work, whatever it is for you to be your best, your brightest, your most radiant self. This is what this is what is going to bring the more evolved souls to this planet. This is how we're going to see a change in our future. It's our responsibility to take care of ourselves. It's our responsibility to be the healthiest, the most conscious that we can be. So I thank you for showing up today, for listening, and whatever you caught, whatever snippets, whatever you're taking with you, really be mindful of every action, every thought, because it's creating your reality in every moment. It's creating environment through energy. Thoughts are energy, your actions, your behaviors, what you're choosing in your life. So with that, I say good night to you. I send you love. I thank you for being here, and I'll see you again soon. And definitely DM me, message me if there's a particular topic. So I'm coming live once a week. So if there's a particular topic that you'd want me to speak on, I invite you to ask it, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now, and thank you for being here.